I am highly excited to welcome you to Writing Tips. My name is Joseph Jacob. Today, we are going to focus on sentences. A sentence can be defined as a group of words that expresses at least one complete thought or idea. A sentence is usually independent. That means it can stand on its own and make a complete sense. Uche, come here. Stanley is the senior prefect. Who is Cristiano Ronaldo? Every sentence must at least have two features. The first feature, like I mentioned earlier, is that it should convey a complete idea, an idea that can stand on its own and make sense. Secondly, a sentence should be divisible. Every sentence should have the ability to be divided into subject and predicate. A group of armed men attacked the community. A group of armed men is the subject, attacked the community is the predicate. They paid a visit to the traditional ruler. They is the subject of the sentence, while paid a visit to the traditional ruler is the predicate. Pele won 3 World Cup titles. Pele is the subject, won 3 World Cup titles is the predicate. From the foregoing, there are some things we must deduce. The first one is that a subject of a sentence can be a single word or group of words. A subject of a sentence can be a noun or a pronoun. We can also deduce that a predicate can be a single verb or a group of words. We can also say that a predicate tells us about the subject, what the subject did, what the subject said, or what is done or said about the subject. To classify sentences, we need to look at two important things: function and structure. When we talk about function, we are saying what the sentence does. But when we talk about structure, we are looking at the components of the sentence. So sentences can be classified based on their function or on their structure. Let's start with the function. When we classify sentences based on their function, we are looking at what those sentences do. We have the declarative sentence. We have the imperative sentence. We have the interrogative sentence. We also have the exclamatory sentence. Let's look at them one by one. A declarative sentence gives information or declares a statement. Obi is a boy. Abuja is the capital of Nigeria. Miami is in the US. Imperative sentence is an expression of request. It can also be seen as a command. It orders for something to be done or something not to be done. Stand up. Raise up your hands. Answer my question. Leave my office. Interrogative sentence is a sentence that asks for information. It's a sentence that asks a question because It seeks to get information. Look at this example. Where can I find the bank? What is your name? Who is the president of South Africa? All these are examples of interrogative sentence. An exclamatory sentence expresses a strong feelings of emotion, which may be a surprise, anger, anxiety, pain, gratitude, or even excitement. An exclamation may be just one word or group of words. Excellent, wonderful, thank God you came. Hope you are following the discussion so far. Let's now consider classifying sentences based on their structure. Remember, I said earlier that when we talk about structure of a sentence, we are talking about the components, the things that made up the sentence. You remember that in our last video, we talked about main and independent clause. We also talked about subordinate or dependent clause. So when we talk about the structure of a sentence, what we are going to look at is how many independent clauses or how many subordinate clauses or the combination of independent and subordinate clauses a sentence has. That is just what it means to classify sentences based on their structure. And in doing this, we have 5 types of sentences. We have the simple sentence, we have the compound sentence, we have the multiple sentence, we have the complex sentence, we also have the compound complex sentences. So let's discuss these types of sentences based on structure one by one. A simple sentence contains one independent clause. It consists of one subject and one predicate. It often has only one verb as well. My brother is a pilot. What is your name? Obinna plays football. A compound sentence comprises of 2 main clauses which are linked together by a coordinating conjunction. Do you know what a coordinating conjunction is? I dropped a link to our video on conjunctions in the comment section of this video. In that video, we discuss conjunction in details and we also look at coordinating conjunctions. So if you are not very much familiar with coordinating conjunctions, you can do well to watch that video as well. But coordinating conjunctions are conjunctions like and, but, or. Let's consider some examples about compound sentences. I like the way you play football, and I want my club to sign you. I like the way you play football is an independent clause. It can stand on its own. I will want my club to sign you can also stand on its own. These 2 independent clauses are now joined together by the conjunction, coordinating conjunction, and, so it becomes a compound sentence. France played very well, but Argentina won the World Cup. France played very well is a complete sentence that can stand on its own. Argentina won the World Cup can also stand on its own, but the coordinating conjunction but is used to join both of them so that the sentence becomes a compound sentence. The multiple sentence is the elder brother of the compound sentence. What it does is that it expresses 2 or more main clauses, and all of these clauses are joined together with a coordinating conjunction. I will fill the form online today, and I will print it out tomorrow, but I will not submit it until next week. Look at the three independent clauses that made up this multiple sentence. The first one, I will fill the form online today. The second one, I will print it out tomorrow. The third one, I will not submit it until next week. And these three independent clauses were joined together by two coordinating conjunctions, and but. The armed robbers broke into our hostel and they collected my roommate's phones, but they did not collect my phone. Look at the three independent clauses. The armed robbers broke into our hostel. They collected my roommate's phones. They did not collect my phone. And we have the coordinating conjunctions and but that join these three independent clauses together to form this sentence. A complex sentence contains one main clause and one or more subordinate clauses. The main and subordinate clauses are often joined together by words like because, so that, since, while, which, unless, until, and others. Uche had an accident because he was drunk. Uche had an accident is an independent clause. Because he was drunk is the subordinate or the dependent clause. Charles promised not to call Cynthia again unless she accepts his marriage proposal so that they can travel to Freetown together. Charles promised not to call Cynthia again is the independent clause in this sentence. It makes a complete sense. Now, the first subordinate clause there says, unless she accepts his marriage proposal. And the second subordinate clause, so that they can travel to Freetown together. The compound complex sentence, as the name indicates, is a combination of the compound sentence and the complex sentence. This sentence is made up of at least two main clauses and one or more subordinate clauses. Manchester City want to sign Victor Osimhen, but he wants to play for PSG, which will make him the first Nigerian to play for the club, while he becomes the most expensive player in the world. Manchester City want to sign Victor Osimhen is an independent clause. It can stand on its own. He wants to play for PSG can also stand on its own. So these first two clauses are independent clauses. Other subordinate clauses are now used to add to the sentence, which will make him the first Nigerian to play for the club. The second one, while he becomes the most expensive player in the world. Another example, Nigeria is blessed with so much natural resources, and she has talented citizens who are hardworking. Nigeria is blessed with so much natural resources is an independent clause. It makes a complete sense. She has talented citizens can also stand on its own. Who are hardworking becomes the subordinate clause that is added to it. This is where the cookies crumble on today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Our next video will focus on figures of speech. We are aware that there are so many figures of speech, but we'll concentrate on those ones that are often used. Until then, have a nice day. Bye-bye.